How's it going there, guys? Dave Nader here, and today I have another movie review for you. Now, I just saw Life, which is a movie that I've been looking forward to ever since I first heard about it. I saw part of the trailer a while back. I just, like more and more YouTube critics nowadays, I really like to avoid trailers, and I just watched like the first 30 seconds to a minute of the first trailer that came out like back in November of last year. I was like, yeah, this looks cool, so I'm just going to tune this out. Like, I think it turned off the video. It looked pretty cool, and now, of course, I finally saw it. This movie is a sci-fi thriller. It's about some astronauts on a space station, and they get this sample, well, actually a bunch of samples from Mars, and they end up finding organic life. They finally found life on other planets, but very quickly they realize that they have a hostile organism on their hands, as is often the case with sci-fi thrillers of this sort, and you get a pretty darn intense movie. I like this movie. The setting is great. I mean, I love, space settings in horror films. It's obviously been really overdone over the years, especially since Alien. But I think this movie, really differentiates itself from most sci-fi horror movies. I mean, first of all, the cinematography in this movie is really good. This movie opens up with a pretty long shot. Admittedly, it did remind me of Gravity, because of course Gravity opens in the same way. But this movie, it differentiated itself from that too. It's definitely opens up with a long shot, and this is a space movie like Gravity. But very, very different things are happening. And it was pretty cool. It set up the characters pretty quickly, and it sets up some tension right off the bat. And it was visually impressive. The setting is really cool. I loved watching the astronauts just fly throughout the space station throughout the whole movie, because they're low gravity the whole time, pretty much the whole movie. It's not like they're walking around, so that was pretty cool. I was impressed with how they did that. Like, I never doubted that for a second. I felt like they were actually in space at times. So it's definitely a visually impressive movie, and also the setting is great in terms of setting up the setting for. The setting sets up the setting. Wow, I got my words mixed around there. It's a great setting for a claustrophobic thriller. You really feel squeezed in, as you should, in this type of movie. The acting is all very good. The characters don't get developed that much, but that's not too big of a deal because this is a claustrophobic thriller, and it's fairly short. It's only about 100 minutes long, and it's pretty fast-paced. It gets into the intensity very quickly, and considering that, I thought they did a really good job with the characters, and especially the actors did a great job. There is some solid human drama, and there's some, good, effective emotion that made me care for every character in this movie. Ryan Reynolds is great. I love Jake Gyllenhaal. That chick from Mission Impossible Rogue Nation, I can't remember her name. I liked her in that movie. She was really good in this movie. That guy who, again, I can never remember the name of, he was in the movie Ringu, which I reviewed a few months ago. He's also in Sunshine, another space movie, and a couple other actors who I don't know. Everyone was good. And let's talk about the creature. There were a couple times, as the movie progressed, to where I was a little iffy on the design while watching the movie. But that really, in hindsight, that's mainly just because I wasn't expecting the design to kind of go in that direction. Of course, I'm not going to give away any of the, how it looked. I'm not going to show you pictures of it or anything. You should just see the movie. But overall, after thinking about it, I really liked what they did with the creature. The special effects look great, and this thing is very threatening. And this movie really had me squirming in my seat, especially, and again, not going to give away any specific details, but the first sequence to where things get out of hand and it becomes a claustrophobic thriller, like when stuff really, starts to hit the fan, as they say. That was great. That was an excellent sequence. I was really on the edge of my seat. I was cringing. I was literally just shifting around and squirming in my seat, not sheet, and that was great. That was really good. Very intense stuff, very creepy, and I just felt really uneasy and unsettled. However, the rest of the movie, I'm not going to say it goes downhill because this is a good movie, but it never reaches that same height of intensity. Again, it's still good. I was on the edge of my seat. I gripped my seat. I jumped several times throughout the movie, and I really wanted the characters to get out of the situation because, this movie does a good job of setting up the stakes, and, it very evidently portrays just how dangerous, how terrifying and unpredictable this thing is. And I also like the fact that this movie didn't go the route of just because, you know, I don't think it's a spoiler to say that an aspect of the movie isn't in the movie. You know, a lot of sci-fi horror thrillers, like Apollo 18, for instance, goes the route of having the crew get infected, and it's kind of like, you know, a zombie movie, and they start killing each other and going crazy. This movie doesn't go that route. It's a straight creature feature, and it's very well done. And, you know, it's a good movie, but it never gets to that same height of intensity that it did in the beginning. But all in all, this is a good movie. It's well shot, really impressive to look at. It's legitimately scary at times. It's very well paced, not a dull moment in the movie. It just flies by. I mean, I thought the movie was like 90 minutes when I was watching it, but actually, I think it's like an hour and 50 minutes, so, you know, it's getting fairly close to 2 hours, but it doesn't feel like it. It just flies right by. I would definitely recommend you see this movie in theaters, and you know what, the more I think about this movie, the more I like it. I was going to give the movie a B, but I'm going to have to give this movie a B+. And there's my review for this movie, guys. I hope you check it out. If you like this video, please rate and comment and subscribe. And if you want to, you can also share. Goodbye, guys.